Hello class, my name is Daniel. This is my week 2 discussion on juveniles being sent to adult court and child abuse prevention programs. In my first paragraph, I do make a clear difference between the juvenile justice system and the criminal justice system. In a simplistic review, the juvenile justice system is focused on rehabilitation, while the criminal justice system focuses on retribution. I do also go on to talk about the distinction between juvenile and adult criminal offenders. Number 1, if a juvenile is sent to try as an adult, they'll be treated as an adult. And that will happen if they are sent by either the juvenile justice judge or the prosecutor. Either or will make the decision to waive or transfer the child or youth to be tried as an adult. Number 1, the youth, if convicted, will be labeled as criminal rather than a delinquent. 2, adult criminal convictions are not concealed in the same way as a juvenile delinquent. That means if they committed offense at, let's say, 16 years old, let's say they assaulted somebody and it was so bad that they got waived to criminal court, that will not be concealed once they turn 18. And 3, depending on the offense type, the juvenile may face harsher judicial sentencing compared to juvenile justice system. Okay, majority of state law does say at age 16 that's when a youth can be waived or transferred to adult criminal court. However, there are some states that start as early as 13 years old. I chose Kansas City criminal and judicial juvenile law. Under the criminal law statute 38-2347 specified that at age 14 the juvenile can be waived as an adult, with the offense being considered a felony that ranges from level 1 to 6. Also, the Kansas City criminal law asserts that any offense under $1,500 is a Class A misdemeanor. It carries a 1-year jail sentence. Often there is theories that are associated to criminal behavior. Juvenile and criminal offenses can be caused by the choice theory and also the trait theory. In a basic review, I will read what both of them are. The choice theory says that a youth offender who can have antisocial behavior, they can or sometimes they may not. But let's just say like Adam Lanza, he had antisocial behavior. The juvenile will directly choose to engage in illegal activity because of short-term gratification from the illegality, which will produce instant benefits and profitable income. Now, not all the time the gratification can be from money or cool shoes or whatsoever. It can also be through a killing spree or whatsoever they perceive as gratification. However, normally, juveniles will choose crime because they want quick, instant gratification of money or popularity. The trait theory links biological and psychological traits and or abnormalities to the underlying cause of delinquency, an individual level problem, not a sociological phenomenon. For juvenile prevention to be effective under the trait theory, it must be directed at the individual youth. So if a child has a biological trait, you cannot treat it as a group. You have to treat it directly head on. Okay. Assuming the role of a prosecutor, I would be talking about what I would do and how I would reason regarding Adam Riva's situation. The story says that Adam Riva, a 16-year-old, stole a 6-pack of beer from a neighbor's refrigerator and then escaped from a patrol vehicle. The youth, Rivera, has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and has a history of petty theft and violent outbursts. Questions I would ask before making a decision to waive him as an adult are: Was Riva invited over to the neighbor's home, or did he break in? For the purpose of this video, I would assume that he was invited. However, if he did broke into the neighbor's home to steal the beer, then that would be considered a burglary charge, and this would be a whole different story. However, let's just say neighbor Bob invited Adam over, and then he got tempted and stole his beer. That would not be considered burglary. But that would be very important to know. Secondly, was Riva prescribed medication to treat his bipolar? If so, Did he take his meds before he stole the 6-pack of beer? Number 3, at the time of the commission of the petty offense, was he cognitively aware of his actions or was he unaware? Number 4, is Adam acting out of problems from home? Where was his parental guidance? Or is he just curious about alcohol? The choice theory suggests providing painful consequences to deter a delinquent or criminal from outweighing repeated offending. However, I would not send Riva to criminal court. Such action would be too heavy for a minor juvenile offense. My reasoning is in the following here. Riva did not impose a physical threat such as an assault, no weapons were present, or he was high on drugs. As a prosecutor, the notion of trying a youth is egregious and must be rendered to the full penal code of the criminal law, which means prosecuted as an adult. That's pretty heavy. So this is a case of a petty offense. If the neighbor does pursue formal charges against a youth, this would be a petty offense. However, if you bring it down to the bare bones, the death of a 6-pack of beer would be considered a status offense. Now, Rivas does have a persistent proclivity to commit petty crimes, sometimes violent outbursts. However, I believe this is from his impulsive nature of his psychological defect or trait from bipolar disorder. We have a unique situation here where a youth has a previous track record, as we just mentioned. I see he is highly inclined to commit another crime such as or attempt robbery. Nevertheless, the overall scope of the offense. Sorry, just had to fix my camera there. Nevertheless, the overall scope of the offense does not necessitate the full enforcement of severe pain imposed on the youth, Rivas. The reason is that the most appropriate situation or solution would be to treat his underlying mental health condition. That's the main concern that we have here. The story specifies that he does have bipolar and he was diagnosed with it. So if I'm evaluating the best interest of the youth, is his mental health status. It's showing that this minor offense, that he needs help. Perhaps Adam suffers from kleptomania. With a mental health service, they can help him treat that issue. There could be numerous reasons why he left the police car. I'm just going to briefly say he could have first wanted to avoid consequences, which is probably majority of juveniles in a police car would want to leave. Number 2, he experienced a bipolar, manic, or depressive episode. Or 3, he was scared. His situation would be appropriately solved through mental health intervention. He could receive more proper medications and psychotherapy to ease his bipolar episodes and violent outbursts. Honestly, this case is not substantive enough to be tried as an adult, compared to a felony case where youth would need to be addressed in adult court, such as murder. This situation entailed no victims were directly threatened or injured. The cost of a 6-pack of beer at $15 would be meager compared to the legal service fee of a trial. Other juvenile offenders have not been tried as an adult for more serious offenses such as drugs, vandalism, and theft. Case of beer can be argued whether or not it's actual property, just like a house, car, or electronic device. So overall, I would not send him to be tried as an adult. Okay, briefly moving on. After reviewing the video of Antoinette Franklin, I see a young woman striving to give her newborn child a better life than she has lived. I believe that Franklin looks to protect her child from negative stimulus of a harsh environment and break the possible cycles of abuse. Now, the video did not specifically say that she was previously abused. However, I do see that there was an emotional struggle perhaps she experienced as a child, and she wants to prevent that with her newborn child. The program that I see that would gravitate, what would I would say applies to the community program that she attended, was it helped her release her frustrations, such as economical, psychological damage. It helped show her how to be a mother, how to be a good mother. Inspire her to go to school. She wants to become a nurse. She wants to provide a better life for her newborn child. She wants to become a nurse. I mean, that is fantastic. But becoming a nurse will require some hard work and also additional support from family and community members. So this service is really great to help kind of guide her, because she is only a 19-year-old kid and she's got a great responsibility of being a new parent. I believe this program is based on Agnew's general strain theory, which addresses the specific failure to achieve positively valued goals, such as educational economic, which is depressed by negative outcomes in its simplest form. Such negative experiences such as child abuse, neglect, crime, victimization, discrimination, or family and peer conflict. The best theory, I believe, for Franklin's improved parenting is a Hoshari social bond theory. Under this theory, it refers to the level of attachment between a parent and child, the family nucleus bonding and attaching. Also, the commitment needed to pursue further educational goals, better job, a better life for the child to get out of a depressive or negative stimulus. To address if a recession did occur, I would definitely we would see probably the family nucleus bond break or crack, and we would probably see higher rates of child abuse, not necessarily from the parents. However, children will be left unattended if it's single mother, father, people that you cannot trust, harsh situations. Child could be abused, not from a family member, but they could be abused from a neighbor. They could be abused from gang activity or a peer, just overall neglect. If a recession did hit, I would definitely say the family string would be strongest impacted from this occurrence. Overall, I believe child abuse is prevented because of community programs like Franklin did participate in, because really it discusses real problems each person experiences, and it helps prevent people being uneducated about what is motherhood, fatherhood, or what's the reality of being educated or getting a job. I mean, these are real life situations, paying the rent. This is tough. Overall, I think this mentorship will help not put children in vulnerable situations. And that will conclude my video for week 2. I look forward to communicating with Dr. Reese and also my fellow classmates. Just let me know what you think, and I'll see you next week.